Blog Talk Radio.
Good evening, everyone. This is me, Jonathan Alexander, and I'm here to host our show, Life, Laughter, and Happiness. Life, Laughter, Happiness. Today, I have my co-host, Barbara, here. Are you there, Barbara?
Yes, I'm here. Hi, everybody.
Good. And our guest today is, I hope I pronounced your name correctly, Lynn Girardi. Am I right? Is saying that right? Now, you do a thing called...
Hello.
Hello. You do a thing called Whole Life Boogie. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, well, I mean...
Yes.
Oh, that's so interesting. How did you find Lynn, Johnny?
Oh, well, I found Lynn. We were both taking a Be on TV challenge. And we were taking, this is the same place where we met Brenda Warren, who's another guest that we had. But this is different. Yes. And,
do you know her, Lynn?
No, she doesn't.
Do you know her? She's the winner.
No, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. No, I don't know her.
She won the jackpot. She won the jackpot.
She won the jackpot?
Very wonderful story. Oh, yeah, she did.
Yeah.
She won the contest. She won first place.
Wow.
See, what I did was I took the challenge twice. And I met Brenda on the first one, and Lynn the second time. And maybe this will refresh my memory. Brenda spoke on the second challenge. She came in at one of the days to actually speak. And I know. Go ahead. Yeah. And, we had her on, and I think that what amazed me about you, this is what amazed me about her, was that there was a prize for the most engaged. So what I did was they had a list of like the leaderboard of the people that were the most engaged. So I turned on the leaderboard, and at the top of it was Lynn Girardi. So I thought, I got to find out what she's doing. So I'm sitting around there thinking, I called Girardi and wanted to know what she's doing because I thought that I was going on a movie to be engaged, and then she had basically been, knocking it out of the ballpark. So,
thank you. But then someone wound up winning anyway, but yeah, that was, I just naturally want to interact with people. Like if I'm at any kind of a class or anything, like if the teacher's speaking, I'm, or whoever's the speaker, I'm interested in what they're saying, and I'm, responding. So I guess that's why I was shocked to see my name up there, but, it was funny. So, but it got me to meet you.
Then, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you probably get back to everybody, and that is, I hear, super important.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. It says here that you've always, one of your goals is to make 2020 a happier, renewed year. Am I correct?
Yes, exactly.
I like that slogan.
What was that? I'm sorry?
I like that slogan.
Oh, thank you. Yes, because I just feel like 2020 has been so challenging for so many of us around the world, and I almost feel like everybody, my guess is that people are just waiting for this year to end. Even the things you see on the internet, these little jokes, the memes, the cartoons, they're like, we just want this year to end. And meanwhile, it's like, but this is still, the time in our lives. We should be able to, I feel like we should be able to take the remainder of this year, the remaining 3.5 months, and what happened, wouldn't it be nice if we could turn the rest of this year for ourselves at least, and that always rubs off on others, turn the rest of this year into like one of the better years of our lives, even though it was so challenging at the beginning. And I think it can be done. I feel like I've started doing it for myself, and I think it just takes a shift in perspective and where you put your time and your focus.
Oh, well, that is wonderful that you already had that inside of you. So much good to share with everybody. But what did you personally get out of the whole course the most and the competition?
For the Be on TV challenge.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, actually, the two of you are sort of like my first prize. So thank you. You're both really my first prize. Because I did not win from that list that I was at the top of, because then they turned it into a contest, and someone else, once people knew what it was for, everybody tried harder to interact, so I was knocked out of the first one. But
I think what it is that you do is you use the law of attraction. Am I right? You coach people with the law of attraction. And what is Whole Life Boogie? Because I think this is interesting.
Thank you.
I mean, why don't you explain?
I know Barbara has wonderful dance experience as a champion. I'd like to hear more about that too.
After you, I will touch upon that in a few moments.
Thank you. What were you saying, Jonathan? I'm sorry.
What made you decide to create Whole Life Boogie?
Okay, well, Whole Life Boogie actually has been an idea I've had for a while I was basically like a graphic designer and an art director for companies, always loving my jobs. I always loved. Maybe there was just one time I didn't love my job, but I left, and until I got a job, I left. But I created Whole Life Boogie because part of my own journey was to heal any anxiety or low self-esteem that I had from childhood or adolescence. Being around people who I felt like a lot of adults that were around me were either unhappy with life or hated their jobs or whatever. And like I said, I made a vow to myself to I'm going to love my work, when I get older. And I did, but it started out in art. Anyway, the thing was then on the side, I felt like I also loved dancing, and I was doing a lot of self-help studying for myself for self-esteem and basically holistic work on myself, meaning taking care of yourself in body, mind, and spirit. So whether that's, some kind of meditation or, eating healthy and dancing and I met, I'm going to wrap it up with this, but I read a book by someone who became a business mentor and friend of mine, Barbara Winter. And I found that book when I was at the one job that I did not like, which I wound up leaving. And her book was about following your passions as an entrepreneur. So it all kind of comes from all of that. The Whole Life Boogie was the idea of, taking care of yourself in body, mind, and spirit holistically, whole life, or for your life, you're holistically taking care of your life, and dancing along the way, and showing people whether it was like I was leading some ballroom dance activities. I was not a champion like Barbara was, which, I really admire that. But just
that's
for fun.
Great that you did ballroom dancing, or you still do.
I was. I mean, more like, I love the fast stuff, like, salsa and cha-cha and hustle, swing. But that was always for fun, as a hobby, but I was doing it every week and taking classes and stuff. And then recently, a couple of years ago, I was certified in LaBlast Dance Fitness, which you maybe it was created by Louis Van Amstel, who was a European ballroom dance champion. Do you know him?
I know him. I know him so well from my ballroom days competing. Major world champion. Oh, I loved watching him dance. He was wonderful. And he has a fitness workout thing. Oh my gosh, I've got to look that up.
You would love it. If you're a ballroom champion yourself, you'll love this. I'm sure. I mean, it's basic. It's basic, so you're more advanced, a lot more advanced. But it's for
he's teaching or he's turning it into an exercise program.
It's both. He instructed myself and a lot of others. to be, an instructor in it. But he also does it online, like classes online, and there's a convention in Florida, actually, usually each year. This year was online. He's such a great guy, and that's so cool that you know him. So he's from Dancing with the Stars. He used to be on Dancing with the Stars on TV.
Yes.
In the first couple of years.
I used to go there all the time. I used to always go and root my friends on, and I remember, yes, he was on when I went and watched him. He's just, I even danced with him for a minute, like at an after party. He's amazing.
Oh,
my gosh. Okay,
cool.
you guys, sorry, we could go on and on about ballroom.
I know, right?
Hey, we got people, they're listening. Hey, you can do ballroom, but we also want to teach you how to be the best person you can be. And it sounds like your work with this competition, I never remember the name of this. What is this called again, Johnny?
Oh, it was the Beyond TV Challenge. And
Beyond
also,
TV Challenge.
Yeah, basically what we learned was how to make a pitch, because, she is, Lynn has helped, I think I don't know, I might have, or I'm not sure if I did, ran my pitch to People Magazine past her, and, because I'm pitching to People. And
oh, really? That's fantastic.
Yeah, and because I figured that would be a good place to promote our TV channel, me and Barbara's TV channel as well. And one of the things I think that you said that you love is when you create and you follow a morning practice, including you like to meditate.
Yes.
That's true.
Oh, take us through. Can you take us through your, in a nutshell, quickly, your practice that you do every morning? Maybe we could do it.
Yeah,
as well.
Thank you. And that's it's good that it's interesting that you said in a nutshell, because that's sort of how I do it. I some people can do like a very long, drawn out morning routine, like a vibration raising or positive focusing routine in the morning. But I find to do it consistently, to keep doing it as much as you can each morning, and not stop, I find it has to be kind of short and sweet for me. So what I do, I do the last few years I learned to do a meditation. I learned transcendental meditation, but you don't have to do that. Basically, and transcendental meditation actually turns out they teach in public schools now to help kids calm down, which is wonderful. But basically, if it's like 20 minutes or even 10 minutes, or people say, if you're going to stick to it, doing 5 minutes, basically just if you could sit quietly someplace and focus on a sound like the clock ticking, or if you're in a room with an air conditioner on, just focus on that sound, the hum, some kind of general sound. I focus on a mantra because I'm following the transcendental meditation thing. But this general way is it's just about quieting your mind, and your mind is going to kick up a bunch of thoughts. You're going to think, oh, I've got to buy the milk. I got to call back this person. Oh, email. But every time those thoughts come up, that's human. And a lot of people say, oh, I can't meditate. I used to say that too. But the point is, in the transcendental meditation, they said that's always going to happen. As a matter of fact, as you're relaxing, those thoughts are almost going to come faster, because it's like your body is releasing them. Like you're relaxing, and it's almost like bubbles coming up to the surface of the ocean. So just keep going back to...
Even if you are trying, even if you're trying to meditate and you don't think you are, that is meditating, because you're trying, you're focusing on relaxing, you're focusing on emptying your thoughts.
Exactly. Yes. Barbara, you hit the nail on the head, because a lot of people, it seems like a lot of people have a hang up around, I can't meditate because my mind's too busy. Yeah. You know what? That's called being human.
Right.
That's how it works. But if you keep going back to anything that you can focus on that's neutral, that will, when you get the thoughts, go back and distract yourself with either the ticking of the clock or focusing on your breathing or the general sound of an air conditioner, and just do that, maybe start like 5 minutes each day.
I understand.
Don't beat yourself up. Yeah.
I do understand the sound of something does work. Like every night I run the dishwasher and I do it right before I go to bed, and that makes me fall asleep, the lull of that. Yes, right. But that's for people who say, well, what if they don't have any sound? They think, well, there's always some way around that. Why don't you go on YouTube, and you could even get the sound of water droplets, which is really relaxing and tranquil.
Fantastic example. Yeah. I mean, it could be your breath, too. Sometimes but if that starts making people feel like self-conscious of, oh, am I breathing right? It's whatever you can do. I'm reading, I read a book recently by Andrew Kapp, who wrote a Law of Attraction book. It's very good, too. And what he says is, basically customize any of these positive exercises. Customize it for how does it work for you. You know, it doesn't matter how short it takes. You know how short it is. What makes you feel comfortable to do it, where it makes you relaxed and puts you in a good mood.
Well, isn't that why they call it a practice? Because you're practicing.
Exactly.
It's not always going to be perfect. You have to practice it, and you know what? It magically does get easier every time you try to meditate.
Beautiful.
You know,
you're saying what I usually say. What was that, Jonathan?
You look pretty good throughout the day.
You could do it throughout the day. Is that what you said?
You look for the good throughout the day.
I'll look for the good. I'm sorry. Yeah, that was another thing is if you keep. You know, most of the time, well, part of the morning practice also, besides the meditation, is to do some kind of a gratitude list or at least a gratitude list. You know, even if it's like 3 things that you're grateful for, it sets your mindset in a positive way. And then when you're going throughout the day, look for the good things. You know, it could be somebody smiles at you on the street. It could be. I mean, it was so beautiful. The other day, I was sitting at a cafe outside, and a little 4-year-old boy passed by with his mother, and didn't know myself or the waiter next to me, and just waved at us. And we all had such a big smile. It was like a profound, beautiful, loving experience, right? So it's like, look for the good. So like when something like that happens, think about like, wow, I'm grateful for that. You know, I'm grateful that that I'm breathing today. You know, I'm grateful that somebody helped me, or the sun is shining.
I'm sure we could all find things that we're grateful for, but if we're not looking and we're in a grumpy, bad mood, we're not going to.
Yes.
So I agree with everything you are saying. And just make a point to actually do it, because a lot of people know, oh, yes, I should be doing those kinds of things at least once a day. I know all that. I know how, but they don't make a point to do it every day. I mean, I even need to. I mean, I'm learning a lot and getting reminded of a lot of things that I need to do from you today, which is amazing.
Oh,
and,
thank you.
I don't think, to actually have a morning and make it a ritual.
Right. And believe me, I mean, the other thing is myself, and I always have coaches helping me to, this year and for many years. I fall off we're all, as human beings, we're always going to kind of fall off the wagon, kind of, get off track. But we're just like, oh, it's okay. Don't beat yourself up. Just try to get back the next day. Or if you can't do that, like, don't be, the more we beat ourselves up, the more we stay in a negative frame. It's like, give yourself a chance, and you're doing the best you can. We're always doing the best we can. That's what they say. Like, if you could have done better years ago, you would have, but you didn't have it in you to, or me, anybody. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're human. We're doing the best we can.
What I was going to say is that you're also talking about connecting with a positive-minded community. See, I always thought of the show as sort of a community in a way. Don't you agree with that, Barbara?
Oh, yeah. Yes. But, okay, I want to know, since this competition was, not competition, but contest, this fun learning contest, which people take very seriously, is called to be on TV. Okay. Did you really want to be? Are you using it for doing that and getting on TV and producing something, or did you do it for other reasons, just to further yourself as a human being?
Yeah, thank you. That's a great question. I just felt like I wanted to be able to, it's sort of for all media, so it's for TV or podcasts or getting in magazines, newspapers, online. It's just to get out there in the media in general to help promote your business and to get your message out. So I just always felt like, I kind of felt like there was a part of me that always kind of, I don't know, was meant to, get out a positive message on a broader scale. But the class is also set up because the two people who are in charge of it are Chris Winfield and Jen Gottlieb. They're also very much into personal growth, and so they're so supportive, and they're into like being positive, and so it's also a self-growth class. So I'm getting some media exposure or learning how to get it still. And also it's helping me to pin down my message, to clarify it more so I could explain it better to others. It's really great.
Yeah.
I mean, there are people who also have already been on TV, and because they're really publicists is what they are, but they also have a personal growth angle to it. So they're helping people who are already, in entertainment and stuff as well.
I love that. I think they're so great, these two individuals that run this. And hearing from our other guests and then Johnny, all three of you have said raving things about them.
Isn't that nice?
So, and that's so wonderful that you're getting all of that, because you're getting the positive too, but you're learning so much about the entertainment business and the field.
Yes.
And, it gives you so much more confidence out there with whatever you do in life at all.
Yes, thank you. And another thing with, it's in a way, this kind of goes back to 2020 being a time of it can be a time that you could turn it into a better year for yourself, because there are more possibilities, because it's almost like reality was turned upside down on its head, right? Now everything, including television, everything is virtual. So now they need more people virtually. I mean, they have the Tonight Show was virtual. I mean, everything, right? The awards shows are virtual. So, so it's right now. There's more. It's more of a level playing field where people can, get their message out virtually in the media if that's something they want to do.
Oh yes. Oh, it's wonderful. And a lot of people have made it better. You're right. They have made it better, and they have gotten creative. Things have happened in their lives that probably never would have. So I do like to count my blessings, but I also pray for the families that have gone through so much loss and tragedy.
Definitely.
And and it seems so far away, but it's not. Just because I don't know anybody right next to me personally that has gotten it, but I know somebody who has a friend, or we have many callers
me too.
that call in.
Yeah, I know. And we had a very big. As a matter of fact, this is sort of part of what shifted my journey a little bit this year. Was here in New York, we got hit badly back in March. So like March to May, I guess, or June. It was pretty bad and very scary. And we do know people who, like my friend, a couple of friends, their friends passed away. Or, I mean, I know a good amount of people through friends who passed away or were sick from the coronavirus. And, yes, tragic, definitely tragic. And every day when you would listen to watch the TV news, and they're giving you these terrible, figures of, who's passing away or whatever, you're just in your house like in fear, almost like in shock, and yet you have to go about your life. And now a lot of places around the United States and globally, they're doing that. They're in that fear. But I actually created this Facebook group to start. I was noticing that when I was going on Facebook when that was really happening, everything was a negative post, was depressing, whatever. And I said, I've got to put some uplifting things out there. Goes, how are we going to get through a day? Nobody's going to see anything pleasant on Facebook, you know. So no matter how bad it is, right? If we're, what do they say? If someone's amid some kind of a tragedy or emergency, what do they say? All right, just stay calm, right? And why is that? Because if you panic along with everybody else, you won't be able to think straight or figure out a solution. You know,
That's
so
right.
it's important, you know, to try to be calm, and you could help other people if you're calm and hopeful.
Oh yeah, that's a good way to look at it. I like the positive approach.
Yeah,
the
because
positive
really,
approach. And yes, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'm sorry, Barbara.
I just liked so much your little story about the little boy who passed by and smiled.
Yeah.
Because that is just like pure innocent love of, okay, that heart is happy. Yes, and then you were able to enjoy that, and that's energy, and that's love, pure love energy that, you know, you were in the right mindset to be able to take in that moment, a very, very quick little moment that meant so much and could lift you up. And so let's get ourselves ready. I think everybody after this show should sit down, write a little 15-minute, however much time you have, you know, a little ritual for the morning. It doesn't have to be a big, grand thing at first. Something simple that you can follow. You know, sit there in your Indian style, keep your floor nice and clean. You know, that's important because you're going to use that. Sit there in a cross, you know, leg position. Maybe do some head rolls, do your deep breaths, put on your raindrops or listen to your whatever, and just try to empty out that mind of, okay, this is my moment. I love myself and I care about myself so much that I give myself this time just for me, no interruptions, no phones, everything is off, and I'm not going to think about anything else, not my list of things to do, my phone calls, where I need to go, and if I'm running, it's going to be late, just all that anxiety. Wash that away.
Exactly.
And do you think that how much will that help a person's day if they do that in the beginning of their day?
Oh, I think it helps tremendously because especially like what you're saying, in the beginning of the day is kind of the most powerful time to do it, where you'll get the most, you know, the most positive effects. Because early in the day, you're sort of a clean slate. When you go to sleep, they say that that it's almost like you're reconnecting to your inner self when you're going to sleep. And so when you wake up, it's like a fresh, clean slate before you start. And it's almost like if you start that stuff before you look at your email, your Facebook, or anything like that, so you're still a clean slate, and then you do a little meditation and/or gratitude list, and then you go out in your day. First of all, if I believe in the law of attraction, which is universal law that they say it's like energy attracts like energy. So if you go outside and you're feeling more positive, and that's like your main energy to start out your day, you're going to start having more positive experiences in your day. Not that life is going to be perfect, because it's never, you know, it's always going to be some quote unquote contrast or, you know, challenges. Like we're here to grow, it seems. So you're always going to have some challenges, but the philosophies that I'm studying, like Abraham Hicks and stuff, is saying that, but people are suffering a lot more than they have to, and a lot of it is just because we're thinking negatively too much of the time, and then we go outside or whatever with the law of attraction, which is the energy attracts other similar energy. We're attracting more negativity than we have to. So might as well try to be a little bit more positive, right? Like, what have you got to lose?
Yes. One of our other listeners listens to Abraham Hicks. She loves him too so much.
Yes.
Is that Robin?
Yes.
What was that?
One of my good friends and our listeners, and she's been on the show as a guest. She loves him. Yes. So that's a good thing. People need to listen to this show back and write down everything that you said that you've been reading, because you seem like a very big reader.
Yeah, well, thank you, Barbara. And I have to say that it's interesting that a lot of the things that you're saying in response are like either things I've said myself or like you're reading my mind.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so it's very interesting. Yeah.
Awesome. Yes,
thank you. Yeah.
But I also am not as good as you as really doing the ritual, though, every day. And I think that it is obviously so great to do it in the morning. But if you can do a little one in the midday or night time, that's fine, too. But people are, like, they're tired. They're tired, and they're going to say, I'll do it tomorrow. So when you wake up, I think, okay, everybody, let's just do that first step. All the listeners, let's just do that first step this time. I'm going to.
Well, here's a fun way. Here's a fun way to kind of cheat with that, and not cheat with that. I'm just thinking that like that now. Say you get up, and I mean, even the people who teach the Abraham Hicks philosophy, she says like, sometimes like she's only doing it 80% of the time. Nobody's doing anything perfectly, right? Especially 20. Perfect is thrown out the window. Nobody has to.
They taught us with the challenge. Nothing's ever 100%.
Yes, right. Exactly. So I think a lot of it is just we're beating ourselves up, but unnecessarily. We don't have to be perfect. But what you're saying is, so if something happens that you can't you're not up to doing it in the morning, or the main thing is the reason that we try to do that in the morning is basically starting our day in a more positive vibration, okay? But if you go about your day and then if you can do other things during your day that raise your vibration anyway, which is like the Abraham Hicks suggestions, for example. And I mean, all of the metaphysical people, they all talk about similar things. But like if you go pet your cat, pet your dog, give somebody a hug, dance, sing a song you love, anything, do something fun with your daughter, read a passage of a book, anything that is pleasant for you actually raises your vibration. And that's part of why half of my message to people is the importance of following your passions in life, for a hobby, for a business, in your job, because following your passions or anything that's fun raises your vibration to be more positive, and then you attract more positive things. So it's all connected.
Oh, yes. And people don't realize how much you can become a magnet when you become very positive and only think of good. Oh, you're gonna get to your manifestation, your things, your dreams, and your goals are gonna happen a lot more quickly when you apply that.
Yeah. And then you notice what people call coincidences. In the metaphysical philosophy, they call it synchronicities, which is that when you're more often in a positive frame of mind, that's supposed to be more like in line with your authentic self, or your soul, or whatever you call that thing that makes you
your higher being,
right? Your higher being,
my higher being.
Right. So when you're more positive,
my real
you're in
self,
that.
the real one.
Exactly.
The real one. The best one. And we
Right.
know that it is there. We know we've been very good. It feels good. We know how being good feels and how good it feels to give. When you give and you help somebody, that feels great. So just think about that feeling, and then your mind doesn't know, you're just thinking about that. It thinks that you're doing that, and it's going to bring that to you. Yes, and just like they say, don't think about how much money you don't have. Don't worry about bills. Just tell your brain, actually tell yourself, I have a lot of money, and watch how fast that comes to you.
Yes, or and then if it's too much of a stretch like sometimes some affirmations might feel like a stretch, then you could, customize it again a little bit more to something that you feel you can believe more. So like if someone wants to say, oh yeah, I'm going to make $1 million by the end of the month. Well, do you really believe that? So, for some people, I mean, it's possible. But if more of your belief, but if more of your belief is like, but I doubt it, then
right.
change that affirmation where you could believe it more. Make it a little bit lower.
Because that's going to take over. Is that going to take over the negative, like the doubt of what you just confirmation that you tried to make? You're doubting it so much that
in other words,
energy going to take over.
Right.
Replace expecting the worst with considering possible outcomes you would like to see, right?
I'm sorry, say that again, Jonathan.
Replace expecting the worst with considering possible outcomes you would like to see. Right,
thank you for reminding me of that. Yeah, I mean, I feel like, the knee-jerk reaction, especially in 2020, with what we see in the news and on people's Facebook posts, are all these negative posts, and a lot of them are true. It's not saying that this stuff is not happening, and it's not saying that you could be a positive, you could be a positive person and still, feel bad for these people and try to help people who need help. But if we're always expecting the worst because of the things that we're seeing on the news, and they're mainly showing us bad stuff on the news, right? I mean, my sister was a journalism major, and they taught them that the news is actually an entertainment program. They're trying to get your attention too. So
they sure are.
Right. So if we're expecting the worst, it's going to be hard to be positive during the day if you're expecting the worst. So why not consider? I mean, sometimes I tell you, it's like some of these things. I was saying this in a recent class I did. Some of these things are so basic, right? We're talking about making a gratitude list, write a thing on paper, right? And it's like this so basic, and we're humans. We could do these little easy things that'll change it, but you got to try it. But so this, instead of expecting the worst, how about considering what if it worked out even a little bit better than what they're saying, or even a little bit better than my biggest fear? Isn't that possible? Haven't you seen anything in life before turn out a little bit better than maybe what they were saying or something? So why not expect, maybe it's going to be a more positive outcome. And then just go with that, and just keep as positive as you can during the day so that you feel that. And I'm telling you, I have seen in my family too. I mean, we've dealt with things. My father had a thing with a surgery a few years ago. He couldn't walk for a year and 4 months. He wound up walking again. He believed in a lot of positive thinking. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. He's in his late 80s, and I mean, our neighbor, when she saw him walking, she was crying. It's like everybody else thought, oh well, you look like that. There were people that heal from amazing things, like worse than that. So consider the positive. Don't expect the worst. And then you might wind up seeing what looks like a miracle. But miracles should happen every day.
That's right. I was going to ask you, though, now that you touched on your father, how did you become this positive? Did this, was this instilled in you as a child? Because your dad, he's obviously using it still to this day.
Yeah, thank you. That's an interesting. That's a good question because it's my parents grew up. Not grew up. They when I was growing up, my parents were they were studying something called that was kind of like a holistic wellness program called concept therapy. I don't know, maybe if you heard of it. It was started by a chiropractor, I think back in the 30s, Dr. Fleet. And anyway, that was really about how your thoughts affect your life, and how your mind can affect your body. So I did grow up learning about, like, watch the thoughts you're thinking. It doesn't mean that we didn't have anxieties. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't mean that we didn't have anxieties in life and people, we had challenges anyway. But it was sort of like, but we also know this stuff.
Yes, but what did your parents do? I mean, mine, the only thing spiritual they did, self-help thing would be going to church and taking vitamins. Right, that's it.
Well, that's good with the vitamins, yeah.
But your parents were studying this.
Yeah, well, the thing basically, I mean, we grew up Catholic and we went to church and stuff like that. But my aunt Jean, who is on the other side of life now, she really, thanks to her, she's the one who, I believe she was involved with AA, Al-Anon, because her husband was an alcoholic. And I think somehow her going to Al-Anon and those meetings, she got involved with that, and I believe she learned about concept therapy somehow through a connection there. And she wound up teaching her brother, who's my father, right? And so they would go to some of these like social meetings together, where they would have coffee and talk about positive thinking, basically. There was a book they followed and stuff like that. So we grew up with that, but yeah. And yeah.
So right in New York City?
This was in New York, Brooklyn.
Oh,
but
wow.
It's interesting also.
Sounds like a wonderful upbringing. I mean, I could just feel the happiness and love in your voice. I really can sense it when people have it in their voice. What about you, Johnny? Can you feel this good energy in your voice?
Oh, yes. Thank you. I mean,
very uplifting.
Thank you so much. I mean, the thing is, I actually started out, sometimes like they say, everybody's had a lot of challenges, and a lot of the stuff with the metaphysics, they sort of teach not really, talking too much about your challenges, because you don't want to like attract more negative, to a certain extent. But I mean, I grew up. I was a big worrier up until like my teenage years. I was like the OCD type of a worrier, and wow. I had a lot of that. So I went to a lot of therapy. And then I got into like holistic therapies too. There's like EFT where you're tapping on pressure points, and I read a lot of self-help books. Got into law of attraction. So there's a process for everybody, and everybody's had their challenges along the way.
Yes.
Nobody's
life
background
happens.
is perfect. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, like my mother unfortunately passed away. She passed away. Yeah, she passed away 7 years ago, and so yeah. Thank you. So and she was my best friend, really. But so like it's where I tried to help her with some of the positive stuff and everything, and she was into it, but who knows? Each soul, I guess, has their path, is what I believe, and when it's their time to go, it's it's if positive thinking is going to help them, it's going to help them. If not, they have their own path. So there's always that you do what you can, and then you let go and let God, if that's what you believe, and
you have to let go. You have to sometimes let go. But hey, you're a testament to working on yourself, finding what you need help on, and working on that, because you obviously had a good upbringing and with a lot of love and good support and a lot of great things from your parents, and you still had anxiety issues, but you're a normal person, and you went out and you got therapy for that, and you're all about trying to be the best you can be, and that is my motto too.
Wonderful. Thank you. Yes, and I think the thing is, it seems like, but the other thing is, like with all this self-help stuff out there, I actually read one book in college. One of the books, when I was feeling anxious or something, I went to a bookstore and I saw this book, which I still love to this day, and it's called Being Happy, and it's by Andrew Matthews. He's in Australia, and he's actually a cartoonist but he talks all about how to be more positive in life and how the law of attraction works, and he draws it with these funny cartoons in addition. Anyway, that book sort of started my adult interest back into about the law of attraction, and you realize that each of us has more power to help ourselves, than we think. So it's good to get therapy or whatever, but there's also a lot that we could do ourselves if we tap within and we try these positive practices.
Do you believe in having everybody has a spirit guide? Do you know about the spirit guide?
I've heard a lot about it, and I've been on in seminars and things about that. I personally I don't know yet, but I do believe. I believe that, especially our deceased loved ones and stuff, I believe that they're helping us, and I do feel that my mother, after she passed away, she would come to me in my dreams sometimes, and some of the mediums say that a lot of times that's like a visitation more than just a dream. So, but I do know a lot of people who, communicate with or sense us their spirit guides, and do you have something like that? Experience with that?
The reason I ask is I ask everybody who is in this field of spirituality because I don't know. I'm really still not sure, and each person I ask, maybe it sheds more light on it. So I get it. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, I just kind of, when I see the synchronicities show up, if I'm in a positive state, and again, it changes every day. Even like I was saying, my coaches who are into this positive mindset stuff, people have bad times during the day, and it's like a few days a week. It's not like everybody's happy all the time. We go up and down.
Right.
But when you're feeling it more in a positive state, it's almost like you'll see these things, these like little signs of alignment or of like the spiritual. You'll look at a clock, and I don't know if any of you've ever noticed, like sometimes you happen to look at a clock and it's all the same number, like it's 2:22 or it's 11:11.
Yes.
Or you look at you've seen that. That's actually kind of a good sign, because they say like that's like a simple way. In this realm, for us to see that we're in alignment, that we're in the positive flow. Like if you're seeing repeated numbers all of a sudden, this is kind of a fun little thing. I mean, this is all my opinion and my understanding on my spiritual journey where I am right now. Les Brown, the speaker, used to say that too. He used to say when I'd go to a seminar of his, he would say at the beginning, he said, "Now listen, what I'm going to tell you is what I understand on my own spiritual journey where I am right now. You take, and same for the listeners out there, right? Everybody should take from what anybody says what resonates with you. Ultimately, each person, their own inner being or whatever, knows the best answers for themselves. It doesn't matter if it's the doctor, the pope, you know what I'm saying? Ultimately, each person, if they get into that quiet place and in a positive state, they know, each of us knows the best decisions and everything for ourselves, and no one else, no matter what they say they, how much of an expert they are.
Yes. Well, that's wonderful. Can you tell the audience where they can connect with you? You said Facebook. Let us know. Are you on anything else, like Instagram or a website? Okay, great. Let's do that shout out right now. Yeah.
All right. I appreciate that, Barbara. Thank you. If you go to a Whole Life Boogie on Facebook, and that's with a WHOLE Life Boogie, BOOGIE. I also have a website by that name, wholelifeboogie.com. And then on Instagram, I think it's more under Lynn Girardi, LYNNGIRARDI, yeah. Or Whole Life Boogie might show up too. But
did you say holistic boogie? Could you spell that again? Because I'm writing it down.
Okay, thank you. Yes, okay. Whole Life Boogie. So WHOLELIFE, B as in boy, OO, G as in George, IE. Yeah, .com or on Facebook. I do a lot of things on Facebook. There's also a Facebook.
That's cute.
Facebook. Thank you. Yeah, because I try to incorporate some ballroom dance themed little activities too, which I'll be doing more of. And there's a Facebook group called,
cute.
Thank you. And there's a Facebook group which is free, called Lovely Thoughts, Lovely Day. Actually, I should just mention, if people want a free a way, like a little quiz for yourself of tapping into, a lot of people say, well, I don't know what my passions are. Like, how could I add more fun or, follow my passions in my career or my life? I don't know what they are. I have a little quiz you can take for yourself. If you go to wholelifeboogie.com, if you put your email in there, you get like a couple of page quiz that's fun to do, and it's very helpful.
Okay, I would love to do that. I want to check up on myself.
Great.
What a great idea! And you came up with doing this little quiz? Did you learn this from the competition, the contest?
No, actually, that was like a compilation of. I had been studying for myself to try to figure that out for years, going to different life coaches classes and getting different coaching myself and from books. And I put together about 10, I think, questions to ask yourself. Like, actually, could I ask one question to both of you quickly right now, or is it too late?
Yes.
Oh, just as an example about a passion. They're very quick, right? For both of you, if you're going to buy a book online or at a bookstore, what theme what's one theme that you like to go and look through to choose a book from?
Interior design.
I would say comedy.
What, comedy? Is that what you said, Jonathan?
Yes.
Yes. See, it's interior design, right? Or if one last thing, or who's somebody living or deceased who you admire? Whose life that you admire, living or deceased? An example. It doesn't have to be like a family member. Like, it could be a general.
I would say Andre the Giant or Muhammad Ali.
Very good, very good. And what about you, Barbara?
Let's see. Oh my goodness. Sure.
Oh, I mean, it could take time to think. I mean, some of these things, it's like you have to think about them too. So, you don't have to.
That's what's so good. That's what's so good about it, right?
Right.
That it gets you thinking.
Yeah, and then also, like, sometimes things that we used to like when we were younger, and by younger I mean like even say last year, right? You might like something totally different this year. So what's interesting, fun or interesting for you now, and how might I add that into my life and make it count, where I even schedule it on my calendar, whether it's in career, business, or for fun, for your personal life, and that'll help add positivity to your life too.
I love that. Simple questions, and you find out more about yourself too, because hey, if I like that, then I should be doing more of that, and do one step a day towards that, and fulfill yourself, fulfill your life. Wow, well, this has really been informative and really great.
Thank you so much.
It got me thinking, and thank you, Johnny, so much.
Thank
you both
for finding Lynn.
Oh, God, it was such a pleasure.
Connect with you. I'm going to make sure I'm connecting with you everywhere on wholelifeboogie.com. I'm going to check that out. I'm going to take the quiz, and I'm also going to write down my little 15-minute. I'm going to start out with 15 minutes, and I'd like it to be longer eventually, but my morning routine and my ritual to calm my mind and start my day off right. I'm going to do that, and it was wonderful hearing your story, and positivity exuding from you has been amazing. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, both of you. And Jonathan, I have to say, really, thank you. Thank you both for this opportunity. And because of you, I'm telling you, you both are my first from the contest. I didn't win there, but I got. For me, this is my big prize. So thank you. Because of you both are helping me to finally pave this dream. Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. So, wow.
I really
we will give you the link to the show so you can use it in your promo. And you will be able to hear this show again, find out all these wonderful books that Lynn Girardi has recommended. She's a big reader. She's been practicing positive living for many years now. She's doing it every single day, and she has a place for you to go to help you, which is her Facebook page under Lynn Girardi. And I love the title you made for your website, Whole Life Boogie. That's awesome. That's
Thank
cute,
you.
And I love it. Very catchy.
Thank you so
you're
much.
Amazing and wonderful, and we wish you all the best in your endeavors, touching people positively, and keep on doing what you're doing.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and both of you are doing this. Are doing the same kind of thing. You're really helping to transform, the media, and that's so important. You're getting positive messages out there in all different forms, right? There's positivity in everything.
All different forms.
Thank you so much.
That reminds me, in this form, we're going to be posting this momentarily up on our YouTube channel, Life, Laughter, Happiness YouTube. And make sure, Lynn, that you subscribe to us and share, please, your show with all your friends on your social media. And we would love to hear from some of the people next show. Yes.
Okay, will do. Thank you both so very much, and thank you everyone for listening.
Well, good night, Lynn, and good night, Barbara.
Okay, good night, everybody. Thank you so much. Nice meeting you.
You're welcome.
Nice meeting you.